Hello, Indiana fans, and unfortunately, you are not watching your Hoosiers play in March Madness. I know that's a bit of a bummer. The Hoosiers stayed on the bubble for a long time, fell a little bit short in the Big Ten tournament, and so here we are putting a bow on the season and kind of talking about the players and how they performed. And Todd Golden, the expert, is going to give a grade out to a handful of these guys, and we're going to take a look at Bryson Tucker, a four-star freshman. When you carry that type of rating, I think probably decent to big things are expected of you. So what were the thoughts for Bryson Tucker coming in as a freshman at IU?
Yeah, he's a strange case because much like Mackenzie Mbako the year before, he committed to Indiana during effectively the portal cycle in I don't know if it was late March or early April. It doesn't matter. He came in the spring, so he was a late commit. I think he's kind of a poster child of the Woodson era in the sense that there was a lot of amassing of talent because they had the NIL money to do it. I'm not so sure there was a great plan for how to, always implement that talent. And so coming into the season, my recollection was that Bryson Tucker was a little bit of a mystery figure in a sense, not because people distrusted what his talent might be, but how he fit in with everybody else. Like he could have been a huge star. Maybe they unearthed a diamond, or maybe he, slots in behind some of the more experienced players, which is how it actually turned out. I'm not sure the whole situation was fair to Bryson Tucker. I'm not sure that Indiana really thought it through very well at times, but that's my recollection of how he came in. People were excited about him, but it was more excitement about star levels and all that, which I don't want to get into how I feel about those in this. It's not the right format. But, anytime you get a recruit that's that highly thought of, people are excited. But I'm not really sure what Indiana thought they were going to do with him. I think they were hoping for the best, and that's unfortunately what didn't occur.
Yeah, well, if you don't live up to the excitement, I would have to say then that was a bit of a disappointment, a bit of a failure for a freshman. And you see true freshmen making big impacts across the country, so that definitely can happen. How did it play out? He obviously didn't finish the year in the starting lineup. He was behind some veteran guys, and as you kind of described right there, he didn't quite live up to the hype.
Yeah, I will say though that the freshmen who succeed are given a good roadmap to succeed, and that's the thing. I put this one more on the coaching staff myself. I mean, it wasn't a very coherent vision of what he was going to be for this program. It's not like he came in and you're the guy. You're going to be our dude who, is our scorer. We're going to put the ball in your hands right away. It was he'd play some minutes here and there. If there was foul trouble, he would get more. We're talking the first half of the season because he barely played at all in the second half of the season. And so I'm not really sure that he was done justice by the coaching staff, to be honest. Now, as far as his own game is concerned, really the one attribute that he demonstrated was he was absolutely deadly on the elbow jumper that he shot, and fall away jumpers in the lane. He could hit a shot when he was guarded, if you didn't know which direction to turn him offensively. By the time he got to the Big Ten, teams were scouting him better, and he wasn't getting that shot as often. And unfortunately, that was really about the only shot he had. He did not shoot the three-point shot very well, which is unusual for a guard. And he never really developed. It depends on how you want to look at it. He never really developed his game beyond that one, shot, mid-range shot that he took so often. Defensively, I don't know that we can really know how good or bad he was defensively. I didn't get an impression of him one way or the other, whether he was a liability or an asset. And of course, he disappeared from the rotation in the last half of the season. And really, it coincided with Mike Woodson resigning. After that, he barely played, didn't play. I'm not sure how many games it was, but I don't think he saw any more than a game or two of action from February on. So, there's a lot of rumors as to why that was. I'm not going to address that, but he became kind of a forgotten man in the end, which was unfortunate for him. And but he had people ahead of him who played better. I mean, effectively, Anthony Leal, Trey Galloway, to a lesser extent, Kaden Carlisle. That's where his minutes went, and they were, especially Leland Galloway, were effective. So I'm not really sure. People were complaining about it, fans were, but I'm not really sure where his role would have been. Yeah, he just hadn't proven himself to the point where he deserved to bump any of those guys.
Well, I'm curious to see where you will go with this. Then, if it's not his fault, if he didn't get a lot of run and there wasn't really a plan for him, like you said, what can he really do? So how do you grade a guy like that? What letter do you give him?
Yeah, it's a weird one. I mean, a strange season for Bryson Tucker. Like I said, he did show some promise. I think there's a good player in there. I'd be curious to see what Darren DeVries thinks of him. But he never got any kind of consistent run of playing time to either build on it or demonstrate that he wasn't up to it. His late season disappearance was weird, so you get that too. I give him a C. I mean, you can't really give him you can't grade it any kinder than that. That's probably about as kind of a grade as you could get. I don't want to give him a D or an F because I don't think his issues were necessarily all his. Even if he had been playing, I don't know what the role was going to be for him. I don't know that the coaches knew what the role was going to be for him. So I'll give him a C.